I am really, really flattered by the turnout here this afternoon on, what, a 900-degree day or something like that. People who have been willing to come here, tearing themselves away from the ocean and the pools, whatever. I know there are a lot of other places you all could be other than here right now. And I think that's a testament to the fact that you all recognize how important this is. We've had an incumbent now for 17 years in the district attorney's position, and it's long past time for a change. I'm a professional prosecutor, as both John and Colleen have alluded to. I've done it my entire 26-year career. And for the past 12 or 13 years, I focused exclusively on investigating and prosecuting murder cases. So I've done things at the highest levels. And in addition to acquiring what I believe is a lot of knowledge during that period of time, I think it's also given me a lot of perspective. I believe that we can keep our communities even safer and lock less people up. I think that we have gotten too carried away with mass incarceration. And this is coming from somebody who has sent people to jail for life without parole on murder charges. We need to take a closer look at the way the district attorney's job is supposed to function. As Colleen said, the district attorney is supposed to be a gatekeeper in the legal system. Is supposed to be a minister of justice. It's not about conviction rates. It's not about who sends the most people away or locks the most people up. In the simplest of terms, it's about doing what is right. And when I'm elected district attorney in the fall, that's what I need to do. I need to change the culture in the office so that decisions are made based upon what is right, not what's politically expedient, not what may be written in the newspapers the next day, but what the individual prosecutor in the courtroom thinks is the right thing to do. And when you get down to the fundamentals, that is the most important part of the job, I believe. But I also have a number of ideas that I'd like to share with you, however briefly today. I believe in bail reform. We have a dirty little secret, or I guess you could call it a dirty big secret in the criminal legal system, and it's called cash bail. We have a system that is locking people up because they can't afford to post minimal amounts of cash, people who are impoverished. We have created debtors' prisons across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. People who are charged with minor trivial offenses, who can't cobble together, say, $500, are being forced to sit in our local houses of correction for extended periods of time. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it can even be more than a year. And the cool paradox is they're doing jail time prior to any guilty finding. And of course, we're all supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? We've learned that in grammar school. They're doing jail time prior to a guilty finding for offenses that they would never have to do jail time for after a guilty finding. It's completely upside down and backwards. But most people don't even know it's happening unless you're working in the system or unless you're unfortunate enough to know somebody that has been sucked into the system. It's so bad that literally people are pleading guilty simply to get out of jail. And when that's happening, we ought to be taking a closer look at what we're doing. So I have proposed a system that's similar to the one used in the federal system, where there's really no such thing as cash bail. And as my friend and former federal prosecutor Gene Kempthorne can tell you, it's a much better system because it doesn't create debtors' prisons, it doesn't make decisions based on one's financial resources, and it's able to protect our communities in the same way. We're only locking people up prior to trial when a judge has found them to be a danger to the community, or they've committed a serious felony and present a major flight risk. So if I'm elected DA in Plymouth County, I'm going to put an end, for the most part, to asking for cash bail, and I'm going to lobby the governor and the legislature to try and fix the entire cash bail system so that it works for everybody, so that it doesn't discriminate against poor people, it doesn't disproportionately affect people of color, and it serves all the people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and in Plymouth County. It costs us $38 million a day to lock people up prior to trial across this country, and that amounts to $14 billion a year. So it's become a cottage industry, it's long past time, and it simply needs to go, and I promise you I will work hard to make sure that it does. I also believe in taking illegally possessed firearms off the streets of our communities. The Plymouth County DA's office has never actually made this a focus for whatever reason. We've put a lot of resources into the war on drugs, yet we've never targeted illegally possessed guns. And if you break the problem down, people have been killing each other since the beginning of time. We want to make it harder for people to kill each other. And the most common method by which people kill each other is the illegally possessed gun. So we simply need to do more to take them off the streets of our communities. And if I'm elected, I am going to assign detectives specifically for that purpose, to target the illegal guns, to get them off the streets, to make sure each and every illegal gun that's seized is traced, working together with our federal friends, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, to find out where these guns are coming from and how they're getting into our communities here in Plymouth County. I also have a plan for the opioid epidemic. It's become such a scourge in our society, and it cuts across all demographics. We have fentanyl now that is infiltrating our communities, and it's killing people day after day after day. So we have to attack both the supply and demand. We need to go after the traffickers, the pure dealers that are simply out to make money and don't care how many lives they ruin. But on the other hand, we shouldn't be locking up drug-dependent people. We need to look at it as a medical issue, as a health issue, and we need to try to get those people the help that they need. We need to take forfeiture money, money that's seized from drug cases, and put it into education and treatment so that we can better deal with the problem. We have to look at it not as a one-size-fits-all problem, because if it was that, we would have solved it already. But we have to look at it more as a medical issue when it comes to the users and try to get them the help they need through whatever means is necessary. And we can't keep locking them up, because all they do after they're locked up, they come back out and they use again. And their lives are upended. They've lost their jobs. They become estranged from their families. They've lost their homes. There's so many negative collateral consequences that happen when one is locked up. And we need to consider that more. I also believe in transparency. You people in Plymouth County should not be served by a DA who is being sued by the Attorney General in this Commonwealth for failing to disclose public information. And that's a true story. I don't know how many people out there know it, but the Attorney General was forced to sue the Plymouth County District Attorney because he simply refuses to comply with a routine public records request. And that, of course, begs the question, what does he have to hide? Why won't he comply with an order to turn over public records? If I'm elected DA, I will not accept campaign contributions from my staff. I believe that should be illegal in our state system as it is in the federal system. It creates a pay-to-play atmosphere. It creates an image of coercion that if you don't write checks to your boss, you're never going to get ahead in the office. And it creates a toxic work environment. And all you have to do is look at the salary structure of the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, and you can see how it works. The salary structure is chock full of sinecures, of people who are paid way too much to do way too little, and they're not serving you folks the way that they should. And I'm going to change all of that if I'm elected in the fall.
Yeah.
But I'm a political neophyte. I never actually thought I would ever run for office, but when this opportunity arose, there was nobody else willing to jump into this race. I simply couldn't stand back on the sideline and let the DA have another 4 uncontested years to run the office into the ground and disserve the people of this county. But I need a lot of help. I need help from everybody in this room. As John said, we need 1,000 stickers to get me on the ballot as a Democrat in the primary. And I urge every one of you to spread the word, tell your friends, describe to them how important this race is, how it can really affect the quality of justice and the quality of life in this county. And I hope, with the help of you terrific people who are willing to show up here today, we can get this done in the fall. Thank you very much.